I have ranked weapons, I have ranked bosses, I have ranked zones, and today we are ranking the unique and awesome cities that inhabit those zones of Kenshi. Now, to define a city, it is any town on the map with one of these large town icons. Those are considered cities or major towns or whatever you want to call them, and these are the ones we're ranking today. I have them here in alphabetical order, and we're gonna be measuring and ranking them based on a few criteria. We're gonna be measuring it based on how good the place is to live, or to visit and trade, based on what kind of resources, what kind of shops, what kind of houses, all that stuff they have there. Then we have ranking on how easy or hard it would be to siege that town if you were the enemy with the faction that currently occupies that town. So we're gonna be ranking in on how tough it is. Next, we have one of the most important ranking statistics, and that is how cool and unique this town is compared to the other things in the world of Kenshi, other towns, other places where you can live. So we're gonna be ranking that, and last but not the least, or maybe the least, how cool and nice the surrounding area is. And if you look into the distance, what can you see? As I said, we have them here alphabetically. Let's jump in. First on the list is Admag. While it does have the shack casual racism from the shack occupying it, it's a great place for shopping if you want to stop in like an armor shop or a weapon shop. It's got plenty of supplies and resources. It also has a shinobi thieves tower, which is always a bonus to any city, either if you want to hide from somebody, if you want to train, if you want to rest, if you want to buy some sneaky supplies. Shinobi thieves towers are always a bonus to any city that we have over here. Now, for defenses, it only has one entrance, which makes it harder for you to siege. It does have plenty of good defenders, especially since you have the Shack HQ here, because this is the Shack capital, so you're gonna have some really strong defenders, so it's gonna be a tough nut to crack for sure. Now, as for uniqueness, unfortunately, it doesn't have really anything unique going for it besides it being a Shack capital, and really nothing unique going on over there. And if you look into the surrounding area, it's very bleak and empty, one of those deserts that is not very pleasing to the eye, so Admag will put into B tier. Next on the list, we have Bad Teeth. This is of course a Holy Nation city, which means that you need to be a human being if you want to go and trade there or live there. So, for a lot of races, this is straight up F tier, but for humans, it's a bit better. So, not that many shops. You have some decent living area. You can rebuild like one of those long houses or such. And as for defenses, it does have two entrances, so you have an option to go in on one side or the other side, or create a distraction on one side and go from the other. Plenty of options there. The defenders are nothing too special. They have some shooty crossbows set up. There's no real leader over here, like in Admag where you have Asada. And the place doesn't really have anything unique. It does have a temple because it's Holy Nation, but really nothing special going for it. As for the surrounding area, you have some greenery on one side, some mountains on the other. Basically nothing too special about Bad Teeth. It goes into C tier. Next we have Bark, the one and only real port city that still exists out here in the whole of Kenshi. I mean, there's no ships, but it's a port city. Never mind. It's a pretty cool place. No Shinobi Tower, unfortunately, because many of the United States places have them, but not in Bark. Decent amount of shops, decent amount of places where you can, if you want to live, you can buy that, or you can just lie on the ground, because that's an option as well in some of the United States places. As for defenses, you can swim around walls, so it's very easy to get in if you're trying to, be a bit more sneaky about it. Unfortunately, since there's no police place over here, if you get downed, you'll get straight to the slave shop, which could be a bit unfortunate. But it's a very cool and unique city because it's really the only port city. You have this beautiful view on the water on one side, a beautiful desert on the other. I think it's very cool and unique. I'm gonna put it into B tier above Admag. Next we have Black Desert City. Very cool place. Now, if you're trying to live there, not very good for humans. There's not that many shops around, you have one bar, but it does have one of the best robotics places around. So if you want good robotic limbs, that would be a place to stop and shop. but really not for long-term living, especially if you're a human being, because we all know there's acid rain, right? As for defenses, while the skeletons are pretty tough, it doesn't really have any walls, so you can just wander in from any side you want to, you know, you can spread around, you can group up, do whatever you want, and you'll be able to, you know, get in there. It's not that hard to get into the Black Desert City, it's just defeating the many skeletons that live there. As for the coolness and uniqueness, well, we all know it's like one-of-a-kind area with one-of-a-kind city. It's home of the skeletons, like the only real home of the skeletons still out here. It's very cool and unique place with the acid rain and all that stuff. Unfortunately, the area around is, you know, very dark and bleak and dead, but still, I think Black Desert City deserves an A tier. Next on the list, we have Black Scratch. Now, this place, if you're stopping by to buy some armor and weapons, not really your place because it doesn't have those. It does have a ranger shop though, which is important because there's not that many ranger shops around if you want to buy ammo or if you want to buy some ranged weapons for that. Black Scratch does have the unique thing with its library going. As for defenses, there's only one entrance, so you know it's kind of hard to get in. You're gonna have some decent guards over there, shooty guards as well, so it's not gonna be an easy nut to crack. But once you get in, it's pretty wide open, so there's that. As for uniqueness, again, the library is its like main saving grace over here. Like otherwise, I don't think the town is anything too special. It is in a decently cool area with some like ancient structures and all that stuff around, but nothing too amazing. I would still put Black Scratch into B tier. Next on the list, we have Blister Hill, another Holy Nation city, which means once again, humans only really. It's a pretty cool city because you have those double walls around, you know, inside walled area special. There's all the shops that you would ever want, plenty of shopping you can do. There's also some houses for sale, but I think they're only like have small houses over here, so that's not that great if you want to, you know, live here long term. As for defenses, you know, you have that double walled section that you need to get through if you want to, but it does have a weakness where you can just go from the back side, enter from that side, and get straight up to the Holy Lord Phoenix if you want to take him out. There's plenty of decent guards out here protecting the Holy Lord Phoenix, so it's not going to be an easy way, but it's very easy reach if you do the backdoor approach. So, you know, that's kind of a weakness of Blister Hill. Otherwise, as for coolness factor, I mean, it's the Holy Nation capital. That's what it's going for it. Otherwise, nothing really too unique. The area around, you have green and river down below, and then some mountains and deserty area around, you know, on the other side. Nothing too special. I'd still rank it higher than Admag though. Next to last, we have a Brink, a United Cities place. This area, doesn't really have that many shops that you'd want, you know. It's got some shopping, it does have one nice large house for sale, but otherwise it's like a very open city. There's some ruins out there, you know. Feels like it's a place that's kind of fallen down on the rough times, you know, poor Brink and all that such. As for defenses, again, very open city. You have like two entrances you can get through. Like there's houses outside as well. You can first destroy or distract some guards over there, you know. So you have many potential to cause issues for the residents there. So it's not a really well defended place, unfortunately. It does have a bonus when it comes to uniqueness, that it's like one of the last save spots before you're going down south of the Dangerlands. So if you're going on a trip down there, that's gonna be an important stop, but otherwise nothing really too special about it. You know, you have Venge on one side, you have beakers like north and south of you, so it's pretty dangerous all around. I'm gonna put Brink into C tier. Next we have Catlan's Exile. I realized not a real city because, you know, it's kind of all in the ruins, but it apparently once was a great city. Now, this is not a place where you can live. This is not a place where you can shop. As for defenses, it's very open. You have two approaches you can do, but, you know, you'll have Catlan to deal with, who is extremely strong and extremely powerful, and then you're gonna have his like 100 storm thralls to also fight in a pretty dangerous area, you know. In Ashlands we have like those fog things floating around and all that such. Pretty dangerous if you wanna, you know, go fight it. Not a place to live, not a place to shop. As for uniqueness, very cool and unique. Of course, since it's, you know, Catlan there and it's in the Ashlands, but since this is really not a proper actual city slash town, we cannot really put it above F. Next on the list is Kanan. This is another United Cities place. It got some shops. It got the famous Kanan scrapmasters who think they're the best sword makers out there. They're sorely mistaken. I don't think there's an armor shop there, which is unfortunate, but you do have shinobi thieves, which is a big bonus. Now, as for defenses, there's a double gated entrance that you have to go up on a ramp up there, so it's very well protected. You know, you have strong guards down below, then you have to go up the ramp where you can get shot, and you have strong guards up above, so it's pretty hard to get there. But since there's a lot of dangerous wildlife around, the guards down below can be easily distracted by certain wildlife, and you can just, you know, run past them, or the wildlife might make it into the city as well. So really not that tough as it could be. Now, as for uniqueness, really nothing too special about it besides the Kanan Scrapmaster place. It does have kind of cool and unique surrounding area, very, very wastelandy, devastated and all that such. But I don't think Kanan is too special and can't be really above C tier, so I'm gonna put it like up here, maybe above Bath Teeth. Another United Cities place next, we have Clown Steady. This one is unfortunately kinda far out of the way, but if you're going in that direction, you'll find a decent amount of shops over there. You can also find shinobi thieves, which is a pretty nice bonus, you know, because there's no shinobi thieves in a big area around there. So, you know, Clown Steady, that's a decent bonus for it. But unfortunately, like, the city itself, not that well protected. It has 2 entrances, and you know, the guards can funnel down there, but you know, you can cause a distraction one side, come to the other. You know, there's plenty of options you can have there. Not that tough if you want to fight it. Otherwise, for uniqueness, it's just unfortunately too cramped. Like, at least for me, this place is so cramped, you know, the streets are so tight and all such. It could be kind of cool if the camera wasn't the Kenshi camera, you know, and if people didn't get stuck everywhere. If you're like in a caravan or a military, you know, formation, people will get stuck all around because, you know, it's so cramped. So Clown Steady, even the area around at best is maybe interesting, so I'll put it into C tier. Next on the list, we have another ruined city. It's the Cannibal Capital, aka Dead Cat. Dead Cat, you know, formerly it might have been an interesting town and city, but now it's just overrun by cannibals. So ruins, no place to stay, no place to shop. Loot is pretty crappy, like even compared to Catlan's Exile, where you can find some decent loot. Here, you're really not going to be finding much too useful things. As for defenses, it's extremely open. You can come in at any point, on any side. All the cannibals there are very, very weak. You do have the Cannibal Grand Wizard, you know, who is their leader, so that it got that for its uniqueness, so you can defeat him and take his stuff. Otherwise, I mean, it's F tier. Next on the list is Drifter's Last, one of the faraway flung United Cities places, you know, as the name suggests, it's the last place out there. Drifter's Last doesn't have that much going for it, you know, it's got some shops, so I don't think there's any weapon shops. It also doesn't have a place where you can buy and live, which is pretty unfortunate. It's also decently cramped, but not as cramped as Clown Steady. As for defenses, it only has 1 entrance, which is a bonus for them. They have some rebel farmers usually running around, which you can use to distract the guards at the gate, so they can be, you know, your help there. As for uniqueness, nothing really special about it, nothing special about the area around it, so as in my opinion, Drifter's Last goes into C tier. Another ruined city next, we have the Fish Isle. Once again, the place is in ruins, there's no place to live or place to shop. As for its defenses, it's quite open, not as open as the Cannibal Capital, but there's many weak Fishimons. You gotta remember, they are all martial artists, so that can be dangerous, a bit more dangerous than Cannibal Capital. Of course, you can be eaten in both places, but I still think Fish Isle could be a bit more dangerous because of the Fishimons. It does have in the surrounding area, it does have the area where the Fishmon King lives, but he's not directly in the Fish Isle town, so you know, the place is cool for what it was once, but not really for what it is now, so it goes into F tier, but still above Cannibal Capital. Next we have Flats Lagoon, which is one of the coolest places out here, one of my favorite places out here in Kenshi. When it comes to shopping, it doesn't have that many shops, but it does have the important ones that you might need when you go further down south into more dangerous areas. As for defenses, it only has one entrance that is full of strong guards, well, decently strong guards. They have shooty things as well. Now, for uniqueness, we all know it's really the only city on like a platform, like a man-made platform. It looks extremely cool. Like the flooring is, you know, all kind of wooden and such. It's amazing. Flats Lagoon for uniqueness and coolness factor is amazing. Even though, you know, shopping and all stuff doesn't have that much. You have only like one small house you can buy. And the area around is also pretty cool. So I think Flats Lagoon, for its how it looks, goes into S tier. Oh, and one thing that I forgot to mention. Very great place if you want to sell some hashish and make some drug lord money. I totally forgot to mention that. Next we have Heft, which is the capital of the United States. You have all the shops you can dream of. You got good armor there, you got robotics there, you got weapons there, you got slave shops. You have everything you really want if you're gonna go shopping. Also places you can buy and live. You have the Shinobi Tower, so that's really, you have everything going for you from that standpoint. When it comes to defenses, it does have two entrances, but it also has like shooty things on the walls, so that can be very dangerous. But you can, you know, spread your forces around or create a distraction or whatever you want. It does have very tough guards as well, because it has the HQ in there. So if you're trying to get to the HQ, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough fight, so Half definitely got a bonus for that as well. It is cool and unique because it has Lord Tengu, the leader of the United Cities there, you know, and his guards. It's got lots of things going for it. It's like a really big town, so have definitely plenty of bonuses there. Unfortunately, as for the area around it, it is in the uglier part of the desert, but still, in my opinion, Haft is a straight up A tier city. Next we have Hang, another of the United Cities places. Now, this one is pretty decent. You have decent amount of shops. It also has Trader's Edge over there. Now, it doesn't, I don't think it has like a proper armor shop, which is unfortunate. It does have Shinobi Thieves though, which is great. And unfortunately, Hang very often doesn't have plenty of recruits. Even though that has been apparently patched out and you should have plenty of recruits now, it still doesn't really happen that often. I don't know. Anyway, Hang, you know, for shopping, it's decent. As for defenses, it has two entrances because you have one entrance from the like Trader's Edge as well. It does have very good shooty coverage from the walls, so that can be very dangerous. And of course, United States Samurai are pretty decent guards. Otherwise, on the coolness factor, I mean, that bridge connecting to the Trader's Edge, it's pretty cool, I would say. The area around it, it's, you know, again, the ugly part of the desert, unfortunately. I still would put Hang into B tier, though, maybe somewhere around here. Next on the list, we have Mongrel. Mongrel has all the shops that you ever want. You have houses where you can stay. It's got the best robotics outside of Black Desert City as well. I guess people need it there, you know, for some reason. I don't know why. As for defenses, it has two entrances. They are both very well covered by shooty things from the wall and many shinobi guards. Now, they don't have heavy armor though, so that can be an easier way for you to, you know, chop them apart if you were to siege Mongrel. And also the guards can be easily distracted by many fogmen around. As for uniqueness, it's extremely cool, you know, like a safe spot in the whole fog islands, you know. It's a safe area for anybody who's wanted anywhere else. You can run over there. Very cool, very unique. You have Beep, you know, over there as a recruit. It's like a place above the clouds. Very cool around surrounding area. Mongrel, in my opinion, is S tier. Then we have Morn. The Morn, which was apparently part of the United Cities, but I think it's now a free town, more under control of tech hunters. When it comes to shops, very little, unfortunately, not much to buy over there. You have plenty of real estate because lots of the town is ruined, like half of it is pretty much in ruins, so you have that if you want to rebuild there. But otherwise, no real guards at the gates, no real power. There's so many dangerous, like big things, wolves, dogs, spiders, even leviathans around that might travel to town and cause issues and just straight up kill the residents. Very dangerous in that if you're trying to siege it, it's going to be easy for you, but you're probably going to be fighting the monsters around more than the actual city residents. So not very good defenses. It's decently unique, you know, with its metal structure above it. You have the great white gorilla there. Surrounding area is very dangerous, but more as a city itself, not very good. It's gonna go into C tier. Next we have Shark. Shark has that same kind of vibe as Mongrel, you know, that safe haven for all the people who are not really welcome anywhere else. It's got that going for it, but less dangerous since I mean, Mongrel is Mongrel, you know, Fog Islands. Now, as for shops, you have some shops, not too much, you know. You have some real estate that you can buy and live there as well. You have some cool bars, and we all know the place can be a war zone between various thugs. Now, as for its defenses, it has 3 entrances. It has some shooty crossbows and all that such. But otherwise, it's gonna be under attack by wildlife constantly. The guards are nothing really too serious or too dangerous. And, you know, very often you have different thugs and criminals attacking the guards, and you know, guards kind of forget what their real duty is. So Shark is very cool in that regard. It's a whole mess. The uniqueness is over the top for this one. It's, you know, that safe haven in the vast swamp that is trying to kill you and eat you and all that such. But then you get there, it's a war zone between thugs that you can, you know, you don't need to fight. You can just abuse that, you know, in your own potential. I think Shark is S tier, even above Mongrel. Next we have Shaabat, in deep into the Great Desert, one of the coolest cities around. You have plenty of shops, you have some good headgear there, you have shinobi thieves. If you want to, there's also a slave shop where you can sell some wandering people around, you know, if that's your thing, I'm not judging. Anyway, really cool place. As for defenses, only 1 entrance, so it's gonna be tough to get in because there's only 1 way to get in. You have harpoons on the walls and all that such, tough guards, so that's gonna be a tough nut to crack. Otherwise, for uniqueness, it's really cool. You know, if you look in the surrounding area, the beautiful desert and all that such, you know, all the caravans will go there. You'll have plenty of fighting opportunities around the city if you want to, you know, various ninjas and bandits and all that such. But also then you have this chance of safe haven inside of the city with the shinobi and such. I think Shaabat is one of the coolest, unique looking cities, and in my opinion deserves to be in A tier. Next we have the Southern Hive. Once again, you know, it's not a real city, even though it's a hive city. You know, you have that like big dome in the middle, and then you have smaller shacks around, so it does have an actual city vibe going to it, but it's hostile to you, so you will never be able to shop there, you will never be able to live there. Unfortunately, it's very cool for the residents that already live there, but unfortunately not for you. Now, it's pretty tough if you're trying to fight it, because the queen's got strong guards, and there's also the king that's roaming around. The king who you really don't want to fight, because he is one tough son of a mother. It's pretty cool, you know, how the dome is structured and all the other stuff around, and then the area around is also pretty decent, pretty cool. Very dangerous, of course, for Southern Hive. Out of these like ruined, abandoned cities, it's the only one that really has a bit of a city vibe, so I'm still gonna put it in F tier, because, you know, you can't really live there or anything like that, but I think it's above the other ruined cities. Next on the list we have Squin, the other shack city on the list. This one's got a bit of a nostalgia going, because for most of the players, it's, you know, one of the first actual real cities they visit, and it's really cool. It has some shops, not too many, but it's had, you know, important shops like weapon shop and armor shop, and then the traveling thing, and you have bars and all that such. So it's pretty cool in that regard. As for defenses, 2 entrances. So you can come from one side or the other, but of course the shack guards are very tough. Now it depends on which side you want to attack. The one that has police station next to the door, or the one that doesn't, you know? So there's some tactical thinking you can do over there. For that, Squin is kind of cool. Of course, for uniqueness, the town itself, not really anything special, but it's very unique, you know, because it's that canyon in there, and all the shops are like nestled next to the walls. So for that, Daphne's got some unique things going, and I think I'm gonna put it into B tier. The area surrounding, you know, it's kind of a crater, so that's kind of cool. In my opinion, it can go over here above Hang. Next on the list, we have Spring, the last city down south, if you can call it a city. It's more of a town, really. It has some shops, but nothing too major. You can also live there, but you know, the houses are pretty cramped, but they are very unique in that regard. As for defenses, very defensible, because you know, there's only one way to get out there. There's plenty of shooty things, strong guards, and if you really want to fight it, then you have to fight the toughest boss. If we, you know, look at humanoid creatures, the toughest boss ever. That's the martial artist man himself, Tin Fist. So it would be really hard to attack the city and take it over in that regard. As for coolness and uniqueness, I mean, it's built inside of a volcano, on the top of a volcano. What else unique and cool do you need? And of course there's Tin Fist there, so that's a big bonus as well. And the area around is very dangerous and unique as well. So in my opinion, Spring goes into A tier. Next is another Holy Nation city, of course, once again. If you want to live or shop there, humans only. Unfortunately, that's how it is, you know, so that kind of drops its thing. Otherwise, plenty of shops around, some living area, nothing too special about it. As for defenses, 2 entrances, you can go in on one side or the other. They're not very dangerous because they don't have harpoons or something like that, because they're Holy Nation and they hate technology, so, you know, silly Holy Nation boys. The guards themselves are not very strong, but you do have the High Inquisitor Seta there that you will have to deal with, who is pretty tough. So, you know, you have that going for you. As for uniqueness, really nothing too cool and unique going around the city. Just a normal city in a normal area. The area around, it's pretty empty and deserted. You know, some wild bulls out there, some Holy Nation outlaws, some actual Holy Nation. Really nothing that special about it. High Inquisitor Seta is really the only interesting thing about the city, so for me it goes into C tier. Next is Stout, another United Cities place. This one is got a decent amount of shops, slave shop as well, you know, if you're into that. Decent amount of living space. It also has a ranger shop, so you got that going for you. I'm pretty sure it has the like animal shop as well. So, you know, it's got some decent things that you would need if you were going deeper into the desert. Now, as for defenses, it's got 4 entrances actually, so really wide open in that regard. Of course, there's always shooty guards on top of those, so there's that to think about. And you know, since there's 4 gates, that means quite a lot of guards out there, but still very open to an attack. Now, as for this coolness and uniqueness factor, it has it going for it due to the fact that it's like this town before you go deep into the desert, like a caravanserai or whatever, something like that, where, you know, caravans would come and equip themselves before they would go deeper into the desert. So I think it's very cool and unique. It is also in the most beautiful area ever, you know, with a desert all around. Stout, while it doesn't have really many other things going for it, I still think it can be a B tier place. Next, we have another nostalgia buffed city. We have the hub. Unfortunately, the place is fully in ruins, but it does have shinobi. It has 1 bar, plenty of real estate that you can buy and rebuild. As for defenses, there's no real defenses. You know, there's some outlaws and some shinobi. If you want to fight them, you're gonna go through them easily. There's 2 entrances, so really no tough nut to crack there. Now, if you look at the uniqueness and coolness, the nostalgia feeling of most players starting there for the first time and, you know, learning the world of Kenshi, and, you know, because of that, loving the hub, that's what it really boosts up this town. And in my opinion, the hub can be in B tier because of that. Last but not the least, we have World's End. This town is controlled by the tech hunters, and it's got all kinds of shops, plenty of shopping if you want to equip yourselves. It's got that unique HQ for the machinists, where you can learn many of the lore things from Kenshi. So, you know, that's a really cool bonus for it. As for defenses, it has 2 entrances, you know, on top of a mountain. And those 2 entrances are very close to each other. So if you're trying to fight on one side, there's a good chance the guards from the other door are gonna come and help. So it could be pretty tough to get in there. As for uniqueness, of course, it's really cool and unique on top of the mountain. You know, you have the whole world spread around you. This is also like the last safe spot when you're going north, traveling to the Cannibal lands and such. You know, a place where you can equip yourself and prepare yourself for the battles ahead. I think for that World's End is really cool. It does have some pathfinding issues going up there, you know, but that's fine. I think we all know that pathfinding is a feature of Kenshi and nothing else. Anyway, World's End, in my opinion, is an A tier town, and I'm gonna put it up here. And there you have it, boys. All the cities of Kenshi ranked. Let me know if you agree with me or if you disagree with me. What would you put into S tier and what would you put into F tier? Let me know what you think about it. I have also ranked many other Kenshi zones and weapons and other things. You can check it out up here. And also, I'm streaming Kenshi 2 or 3 times per week. So if you want to jump on some streams, do that. For now, thank you for watching.